So you've been in music and you have been in da'wah, right? So I guess what I'm asking is that if someone has the same aspiration and is going through the same thing as you are, right? We basically they want to do da'wah work in whatever form that they can do it, right? What is your advice for that particular person, and also to some of us here who are listening to the type of person that we know that in the past that they were not that very religious as well, and now they're coming back with a message that's they're saying that do good, do more salah, do more most things like that. So what do you advise on those two types of matters? One being that the person wants to do da'wah and they have a past, and a person who's listening to a person who's doing da'wah and they know that they have a past.
Okay, so first and foremost, I'm going to answer the first one first. I can just tell you from my experience, for me, the key ingredient was knowledge, right? It's about learning and educating yourself. And for me, like when I started practicing Islam, I made the conscious decision to gain knowledge. I'm like, I used to see Muslims, I honestly like, I don't want to be just another Muslim that doesn't know their religion, right? If I'm going to do this whole Islam thing, I want to do it properly. And I want to know what my religion is about. So I was on like a mission, a quest to gain knowledge. And for me, that is what made the world. And I think that is what actually led me down I'm in a different place right now in my life because of that knowledge. I think if I never sought knowledge, I may still have been, I may have still been a religious person, but I might have maybe been making music or something. I don't know, right? I don't know where I would have ended up. I went to art school, I went to design school. Maybe I would have gone down that way. I don't know. I know where I would have ended up. But for me, the key to where I am today is knowledge. Like the more I learned, the more I wanted to teach people, the more I wanted to bring people in. So I would say wherever you are in life, however religious you are, and I actually don't believe in categories and categorizing people as religious and non-religious. And I think we're all actually on a spectrum. We're just all trying to get closer to Allah. We're trying to be better, and that's where we are, right? So wherever you are on that scale, right, of getting closer to Allah, knowledge is key, right? Knowledge with sincerity and acting upon that knowledge. The more you educate yourself, and I'm sure you realize this, and I know you like take classes and stuff like that. That is the key to really like making sense of this world, like especially a world that you may be new to. What was your second question?
Like if another person comes to you, right? For example, like say I knew you back then when you were in music, you were my friend. And you came back and look, why are you talking about this? I'm the last person who's actually be talking to me about religion. So as a person that's on the receiving end, right? How do I consolidate that? How do I
I mean, that is a challenge, subhanAllah. I remember when I started practicing, some of my friends were like you're gonna tell me about Islam, right? We were last night or whatever, like last weekend, like what are you gonna? And I was like, that's fine. That's you have no choice but to deal with it. You have to deal with it. There's nothing you can do. But what you have to do is you have to be like, listen, that's true, but that is the way human beings are. From the time of the Prophet ﷺ till today, the Sahaba were upon disbelief, right? They were worshiping other than Allah. They were worshiping idols, and the worship of other than Allah is like the worst possible sin you can commit, right? So, and then look how Allah raised them up to be like a guiding light for generations to come, and they became like the best generation ever, subhanAllah, and they became these amazing individuals. And so, subhanAllah, and even the Prophet ﷺ, he said that the people who were the best in Jahiliyyah, they will be the best in Islam. Meaning the people who were motivated in their Jahiliyyah, they were driven and they had that zeal to like really do goodness, and whatever you were doing, that you wanted to do it all the way. That means that when you come to Islam, you're also going to want to do Islam all the way, right? And so, sometimes you're not going to be able to convince certain people. They're going to be, that's just the way it is. But the key, like I said earlier, is just being yourself, being who you are, and being that positive influence in people's lives. And they themselves, they'll see it. And I have people who like proper hated on me back then, right? They were like, who do you think you are all of a sudden? Like you're religious now and blah, blah. Now, subhanAllah, like we're talking about, I don't know, quite a lot of, more than 10 years after me practicing, subhanAllah. Now they come back and they're like, we respect you and we appreciate it. And what they've seen is that, and I think one of the reasons why they have that reaction is because they saw that it wasn't just It wasn't just a phase, right? It wasn't just a phase. It wasn't like, oh, you're just doing this because they saw that for the last 15 years or whatever, I took practical steps to learn Islam and become a better Muslim and disseminate that information. And they're like, okay, now we get it. Sometimes people just need time. One of the tricks of shaitan, this is why I actually teach a class on shaitan. One of the tricks of shaitan is to convince people that they're alone in their struggle. And because you're struggling, there's something wrong with you. The reality is, we all struggle. Even the best Muslim in the world, we struggle between good and bad and wanting to do what's right and wanting to do what's most fun. Everyone struggles with that. The best of the companions struggled with that, even, subhanAllah. There's statements from early scholars, a scholar from back in the day, he said, I struggled with my prayer for 40 years. Like, it was difficult for me to pray for 40 years, subhanAllah. And he goes, after 40 years, it became easy, right? And imagine sometimes we try for like, a day or two, we're like, I just can't do it, right? But this life, that's what it is. It's about that struggle. It's about that constant push and pull. And that's Islam, that daily submission, that daily struggle.
That's the best thing.
Yeah.